The world has a way of measuring you before you even get the chance to prove yourself. They glance at you, size you up, and decide before you even open your mouth that you're not enough. Not strong enough, smart enough, not capable enough. They label you before you've had the chance to define yourself. How many times have they looked past you, thinking you'd never be more? How many times have they underestimated what you're capable of? That sting you feel, that anger, good. Because that doubt, that's your foundation for dominance. Let them talk. Let them assume. While they whisper about your limits, you'll be busy breaking them. You don't need their approval. You don't need their permission. The best part about being underestimated, they never see you coming. Think of every person who's ever dismissed you. Every moment they made you feel small. Now, imagine the look on their faces when they realize they were wrong. That's not revenge, it's justice. But here's the catch. You don't prove them wrong by shouting back. You prove them wrong by building a life so powerful, so undeniable, that they have no choice but to choke on their own doubt. So remember this, their doubt isn't your weight, it's your weapon. Use it. Revenge feels good for a moment, but mastery lasts forever. You can spend your life fueled by anger, by the need to prove something. But let me ask you what happens after you do. After you show them up, after you rub success in their faces, then what? You'll be back at square one, waiting for someone else to underestimate you so you can start all over again. That's not power. That's a leash, and they're still holding it. Revenge is a spark. Mastery is a wildfire. One burns out. The other consumes everything in its path. Real power isn't in proving them wrong. It's in reaching a level where their opinions don't matter at all. Where your success isn't about them, it's about you. Because here's the truth, these people in the world don't waste time looking back. They don't chase approval, they don't react. Will you waste energy proving them wrong, or will you build a version of yourself that doesn't care? The choice is yours. You weren't meant to stay the same. You weren't meant to stay in the shadows, waiting for permission to rise. Picture them looking at you, realizing they never stood a chance. That's what true evolution looks like, not just growth, but reinvention. A version of yourself so disciplined, so skilled, so untouchable that no doubt, no insult, no past mistake can shake you. This isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming who you were meant to be all along. Someone who moves with purpose, someone who builds, not reacts, someone who owns every room they walk into, not because they demand respect, but because they've earned it. The question isn't whether you can rise, it's whether you're willing to do what it takes. The work, the discipline, the relentless push forward, it's all in your hands. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you power. You take it, build it. And when you do, they won't just regret underestimating you, they'll realize they never stood a chance. For years, you've been chasing approval, waiting for someone to tell you that you're enough, that you're on the right path. But let me tell you something, the people you're trying to impress, they're too busy worrying about their own lives to give you the validation you crave. And even if they did, what would it change? Would it suddenly make you more capable? More worthy? No, because the truth is, validation is a moving target, you never hit it. So stop chasing it. The moment you realize you don't need their approval is the moment you're free. Free to move, free to grow, free to build a life that isn't dictated by someone else's opinions. How do you get there? Start tracking progress for yourself, not for them. Set goals that mean something to you. Stop waiting for applause and start measuring success by the work you put in, not the recognition you get. Because when you build confidence from within, there's nothing they can give you and nothing they can take away. Rejection is like a wound that doesn't bleed, it doesn't show, but it cuts deep. When someone walks away, when you're left behind, it feels personal. It feels like proof that you weren't enough. That if you had just been smarter, stronger, more valuable, they would have outstayed. But that's the lie abandonment tells you, because the truth, people don't leave because you lack worth. They leave because they were never meant to stay. Think of someone who was cast aside, someone the world gave up on. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before one finally took a chance on her. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but they didn't let rejection define them. They let it refine them. So yes, it hurts. Yes, it stings. But the choice is yours. Let the pain bury you, or let it build you. Is it really them holding you back? Or is it the story you're telling yourself? Doubt isn't loud, it whispers, it creeps in slowly, planting seeds you don't even realize are growing. Maybe I'm not good enough, maybe they were right about me, maybe this isn't meant for me. And before you know it, you're stuck not because of them, but because of you. If you let self-doubt take root, it will strangle every opportunity before it even starts. You'll hesitate when you should act. You'll settle when you should rise. You'll convince yourself it's safer to stay where you are than to risk failing at something greater. But here's the truth, doubt is a liar. And the only way to shut it up is to move. To take action, even when you don't feel ready. To prove to yourself through work, through discipline, that you are more than the limits your mind tries to put on you. So ask yourself, who's really standing in your way? Them or you? At first it feels like drowning. The panic, the helplessness, the feeling that no matter how hard you fight, you're going under. But here's what they don't tell you. You don't need someone to pull you out. You need to start kicking. You need to start moving. Because the moment you do, you realize something: they never had the power to sink you. You just hadn't learned to swim yet. So how do you do it? First, stop wasting energy on what's gone. You don't need their approval, their validation, or their presence to move forward. Second, get stronger mentally, physically, emotionally. Every challenge you face is training, use it. And finally, keep moving. Don't pause to wonder why they left. Don't waste time hoping they'll come back. Decide right now, will you let this break you or will you break through? They left. Now what? Will you stay stuck in the past or build a future they'll never be part of? The story you tell yourself about what happened determines everything. If you see it as proof that you weren't enough, you'll stay small. You'll hesitate. You'll shrink. But if you see it as a turning point, it's the moment you stop needing anyone else to define you, win. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. Every setback, every disappointment, every door slammed in your face is an opportunity to rewrite the story. To take control. To say, this isn't where it ends for me. If you let their departure define you, you lose. If you use it as fuel, you become unstoppable. Because the truth is your future isn't shaped by who walked away, it's shaped by what you do next. So make the choice. Rewrite the story. Make them irrelevant. They left because they didn't believe in you. That's the truth. It's not because they didn't see your worth, it's because they didn't see your potential. They looked at you and decided you weren't going anywhere. And maybe that stings. Maybe that burns. But here's the real question: do you believe in you? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. People only invest in what they think will win. They only stick around for what they believe in. And if they didn't believe in you, good. Let them go. Because the only belief that truly builds anything in this world is your own. This isn't a tragedy, it's a filter. The ones who leave, they were never meant to stay. They didn't have the vision to see where you were going. That's not your loss, that's theirs. So no more excuses, no more waiting for someone to see your worth. Prove it to yourself. Build the life they thought you couldn't. And when they look back, let them realize they never stood a chance of keeping up with you. A rocket loses parts as it ascends. Not everyone is meant to stay with you on your journey. At launch, a rocket carries everything it needs: fuel, boosters, support systems. But as it climbs, pieces start falling away. Not because they were useless, but because they've served their purpose. If a rocket tried to hold on to every part, it wouldn't make it to space. It would collapse under the weight. This is how life works. As you rise, people will fall away. Some are only meant to be part of the launch. Some weren't built for the altitude you're reaching. That's okay, let them go. The ones who are meant to see the view from the top, they'll be right there with you when you get there. So don't warn the ones who couldn't handle the climb. Keep rising. They left, so what? They doubted you. So what? You're still here. Doubt has never stopped anyone who was truly determined. The people who questioned you, the ones who said you wouldn't make it, do you really think their words had power? Their belief wasn't the key to your success, yours is. So stop giving them space in your mind. Stop replaying their doubts as if they matter. They don't. What matters is what you do next. Let them talk. Let them doubt. It changes nothing. Because the only thing that determines where you go from here is whether you believe in yourself enough to keep moving forward. They left and you're still standing. What are you going to do about it? You could waste time analyzing, overthinking, wondering why they walked away. Or you could use that time to build, to grow. To rise so high that their absence becomes irrelevant. The only response that matters: keep going, no explanations, no proving, no waiting for their approval. Just work, just movement, just results. Because in the end, the best answer isn't words, it's success. So prove nothing, just build, just rise. It's time to stop waiting for an apology and start creating your own success story. Rejection stings, it lingers, it makes you question yourself. But let me tell you something: pain isn't proof that you've lost. It's proof that you're still in the fight. The ones who never face rejection, they're the ones who never try. Rejection isn't the end. It's the start of something bigger if you let it be. Every setback carries two choices. Let it define you or let it drive you. The strongest people in the world didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because every no made them hungrier. Every door that slammed in their face made them knock harder. So what will you do? Will you sit in the pain or will you rise because of it? Your mindset is like a thermostat. Set it high and your entire life will rise to match it. Think about it, your home's thermostat controls the temperature. No matter what happens outside, the thermostat keeps everything steady. Your mind works the same way. If you set your internal standards low, no matter how much success comes your way, you'll fall back to where you started. But if you raise that standard, if you refuse to accept anything less than the best from yourself, everything changes. So ask yourself, what level have you been operating at? And what happens if you raise it? Because if you don't control your mindset, the world will do it for you. And you won't like the result. Reinvention isn't an idea, it's a process. Start now, you want change. You want growth. Then stop talking about it and start building it. Here's how: first, shift your mindset. Stop seeing yourself as broken. See yourself as in progress. Second, build the skills. Read, learn, train, whatever it takes to get better every single day. Third, create new habits. Your future is built in the small daily choices. Discipline over feelings. Fourth, execute. Thinking about change doesn't create it, action does. That's the blueprint, no secrets. No shortcuts. Just work. The question is, are you ready to step up? Are you changing? We're just thinking about changing. Because real transformation isn't in words. It's in action. It's in the early mornings, the late nights, the discipline when no one's watching. Too many people get stuck in the idea of change, but never do the work. They plan, they dream, they talk, but when it's time to execute, they hesitate. Turn rejection into results. Make them irrelevant. Make yourself undeniable. Consistency is the key. One day of effort won't change your life, but stacking those days, turning them into weeks, months, years, that's how you build a future they can't ignore. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. Who do you want to be in 5 years? And what are you doing today to become that person? This is your wake-up call. If your daily actions don't align with that vision, you're lying to yourself. People love to talk about the future, but the future is built in the present. 5 years from now, you will either be proud of the choices you made or regret the ones you didn't. Every decision matters. Every habit counts. If you waste today, you waste your future. So ask yourself, when that 5-year mark hits, will you be someone you respect? Or will you be standing in the same spot wondering why nothing changed? The choice is yours. Every time you work on yourself, every time you level up, you make their decision to leave look foolish. That's the best revenge. Not words. Not proving them wrong. Just proving yourself right. They doubted you, they underestimated you, and soon they won't even recognize you. But here's the thing, you don't do this for them. You do this for you. You finally become anything you couldn't be, their opinions won't matter anymore. Let them watch, let them wonder, let them regret. But you just keep rising. Master the small things daily and the big things will follow. Success isn't built on luck. It's built on habits. What you do every single day determines who you become. So if you want mastery, if you want unshakable confidence, here's the code you live by. Wake up with purpose. No more hitting snooze, no more dragging through the day. Get up and take control. Own your mind. Stop feeding yourself doubt and distraction. Read, learn, sharpen your thinking, because a weak mind leads to a weak life. Move your body. Strength isn't just physical, it's mental. Training your body trains your discipline, and discipline wins every time. Do the work, especially when you don't feel like it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't. One keeps going, the other quits. Cut the noise. Stop wasting time seeking validation, scrolling endlessly, or waiting for permission. You don't need it. The code is simple, but when you follow it, you don't chase. You don't beg, you rise. No more waiting for people to see your worth. No more proving, no more splaining, no more seeking approval from those who never matter. This is your moment. Own it. They walked away. Good. That wasn't rejection, it was redirection. They didn't see your value, they're lost. Your path isn't behind you, it's ahead. And from this moment on, you walk with purpose. No chasing, no begging, just rising. Then then they doubted you. Now they see what they missed, then they laughed. Now they watch in silence, then they thought you'd never make it. Now they wish they never left. But here's the truth, by the time they realize what you've become, you won't even care. Because this was never about them, it was about you. Your growth, your discipline, your rise. They will regret leaving, but that's their burden to carry, not yours. You're only knob. Keep building, keep growing, keep rising. They doubted your potential. Now they can't deny your results. This is the power of transformation, the quiet, relentless work that turns doubt into undeniable success. You don't seek validation. You don't beg for recognition. You put in the work day after day and let your growth do the talking. Imagine there's someone who was left behind, underestimated, and written off. They didn't argue. They didn't explain. They just built. And one day, the same people who doubted them see their name everywhere. Hear their success spoken about in rooms they never imagined. That's how you win, not by seeking approval, but by becoming, oh, but you're capable. Your success speaks for itself. They walked away thinking they were ahead. Now they're ones watching from behind. Funny how it works, isn't it? The second you stop chasing, the second you stop caring about their validation, that's when they start noticing. They expected you to fall apart. You didn't. They thought you'd reach out, seek closure, prove something. You never did. And that's what unsettles them the most. The moment you stop seeking their validation is the moment they crave yours. But here's the truth, their attention is meaningless because you've already moved on. Success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. This was never about them. It was about building a life so fulfilling, so powerful that their absence doesn't even register. Let them watch, but don't look back. If you don't demand greatness from yourself, who will? This is at the moment where everything changes or nothing does. The moment where you either step forward into power or stay shackled to the past. Every excuse, every hesitation, every lingering doubt, it all leads here. Are you going to let them win? Let the past define you, or are you going to rise? This isn't about waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The choice is yours. Stay comfortable or step into the fire and become something unstoppable. Decide right here, right now, you are not broken. You're becoming. Every struggle, every setback, every moment of doubt wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to shape you. Pressure creates diamonds, forges steel in your struggle. It's carving out the strongest version of you. You don't need to go back to who you were. That version of you didn't know what you know now. Growth isn't about returning. It's about rising. This isn't the beginning of something greater than you ever imagined. Success over revenge, the only response that matters, they lost access to you. You didn't lose anything. You don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You need to win for yourself. Success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Let them talk. Let them wonder, but don't look back. Keep building, keep rising. When your results speak so loudly that their doubt is drowned with success. Stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself, would the person staring back at you be the one you looked up to as a kid? Would they make your younger self proud? The answer is no, change it. You weren't born to play small. You weren't meant to live in the shadows of doubt, regret, or the expectations of others. You know exactly who you need to become. The version of you that wakes up with purpose. The version of you that commands respect, starting with self-respect. This isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about looking at yourself and knowing without a doubt that you gave it everything. Walk out of this speech today and become someone even you would admire. No more excuses. No more waiting. Go make it happen. Look at where you started. Look at where you are now. And most importantly, look at where you're going. Every setback, every doubt, every time you thought you wouldn't make it, it all led here. The past isn't a prison. It's proof that you're still standing. Life is a chessboard. Stop playing like a pawn when you were meant to be the king. You don't wait for permission to move. You take control. You own every step forward. This is your moment. Make your next move count. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you your success. If you're waiting for approval, stop. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, stop. Greatness isn't given, it's taken. And the only permission you need is your own. You either step up or you stay in the background. You either build your throne or you stay in the crowd. No one is coming to crown you. You either take the throne or you stay in the audience watching someone else rise. So tell me, will you step up or will you keep waiting? Every step you take forward makes you more undeniable. Every challenge you overcome turns into fuel. Every moment of growth pushes you past the limits they once placed on you. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer knocking on doors. You are building your own kingdom. This isn't about proving anything to them. It's about becoming someone so powerful, so unstoppable, that their opinions fade into irrelevance. Rise so high they have to look up to see you. But by then you won't even be looking down. This was never about revenge, never about making them regret, never about proving anything to anyone but yourself. You weren't meant to chase. You weren't meant to beg. You weren't meant to wait for someone else to see your worth. Because the truth is, you've always had it. You are not chasing, you are becoming. becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming the version of yourself you always knew was possible. Your story isn't over, it's just getting started.